Idiot.
Idiot. Here we go.
You allowed to say that?
What? Here we go.
Idiot.
Idiot? Yeah, you can see where you want.
Okay.
I think we're live now, I think. Well, welcome.
How far into it are we going to get before we realize the camera isn't recording?
Oh, fucking better be. I'm going to be pissed.
Pull Johnny.
Yeah, no, she's recording.
Okay, we're recording. We're good.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having
Thanks for
me.
coming. Good to see you.
Heck yeah.
Well, that was quite the record before this.
Oh, man.
How'd you feel about all that?
Good. Little rushed. I should have probably just done like maybe one or two songs instead of trying to push 4 or 5 or 4, whatever we did.
Okay.
3 1/4 songs. Couldn't quite get through the 4th one, but that's all right.
It looked good. I mean, well, I think it sounded phenomenal. I mean, not an expert in sound engineering, but that's pretty fucking good for a garage.
Yeah, I think the acoustics in here were great for sure. Yeah, I think it's going to turn out great.
How long would John take to turn that around?
I don't know. A couple weeks, maybe a week. Audio files, maybe.
That's what he does in his.
Well, he is retired, so he's got a lot of spare time.
Is it he enjoys doing it?
Yeah, he loves doing sound and that stuff. He's kind of right into that stuff now.
Yeah. How long has he been doing sound? How long have you guys been doing the band for? You guys have got 2 bands.
Yeah, like the band thing started way back. For me, like probably grade 4-ish is when I started drumming. But before that, there's pictures of me out. We used to go to Rendersville, which is out in like CFB Trenton area, like out that way. Mm-hmm. And it used to be called the Apple Tree Jamboree. So we were out there, and that's kind of how we got started into it. I was real young. There's pictures of me. I've shared a few online before where you just see me like real small, and I'm like up there with a guitar. My dad's here, my mom's here. That's kind of how it got started. And I'm not playing the guitar. Like I'm just up there holding it, thinking I'm doing it. That's how young I was. But yeah, ever since then. So that was quite a while ago. Late 90s, I guess.
And it just carried on the whole way through.
Yeah.
How did you meet the band that you're with now?
Well, so my parents played in a couple different bands, like just friends of theirs, and I think they all kind of met through work. Mm-hmm. A lot of them all worked at OPG, so they'd always have bands together and stuff, and they played at different weddings. And I don't know if they did like a crazy amount of the bar scene until later on, but yeah, no, they've been playing together for quite a while.
Your Steve Waters band, what I kind of got hooked up with recently here with you guys.
Yeah.
That's been since COVID.
Yeah. I don't remember the year exactly, but it was like just coming off the end of COVID. So whether that be 22 or 20, 21, when did COVID start? 19? I should have a list of dates written down so I can get this accurate.
5 years. No, we're not that professional around here. It's, kick your Crocs off and have a whiskey.
It's been about, this will be halfway through the 3rd season playing. I guess July this year would be the 2nd year of that.
COVID was 2020, and we were allowed out of our homes in 22.
Yeah, so it would have been 22, I guess, when I started playing. The very first show with the Steve Waters band, well, filling in, but how I met the guys was kind of online, and then after, some time talking back and forth and whatever, started playing with them. They cold called me for a Canada Day show.
Really?
Yeah. So the old frontman lead singer, I guess he had COVID, and they were stuck for a show and they didn't want to cancel, so they cold called me on like Wednesday, the week of, and yeah, I was like, I guess send me your set list. We just sent it.
That's crazy, and he's not there no more.
No. He's still playing though. I don't know him too well. I never even met the guy, to be honest with you, but yep. Yeah, so we've been playing with them. It's been great. A lot of fun. Still like playing with my parents. Still play with them and their band, for sure. We got going into the bars and stuff. Well, like 20 2015, 2014 and around there. And we started doing like bar gigs, small bar gigs all the time. And we were playing till like 2 a.m. Lindsay, Peterborough, you know, like all these different spots. And
Good money? Big money?
no.
No.
Absolutely.
No. Out of pocket. For most of it.
Yeah, no, we're paying to play for sure, but it was good though. Yeah, I mean, you're playing to a couple people at the bar, and you know, you hear all these people that have made it and all their songs, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like I played to an empty bar." Like it's 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't been to one of your shows yet. That's an empty bar. So I wish I could have appreciated that.
No, I know it's a good thing now that we're getting a couple people to come out.
Just momentum, right? It's like it sounds like you were found online randomly, and then some of your current gigs coming up in 2024 have been found randomly online. So that's where maybe the industry is already gone. I mean, I don't know anything about it.
No, social media is so crazy. So like, there's people that I follow online, and I'm sure they're saying the same thing. Like, I've literally never shook that person's hand or said hi in person, but somehow I've communicated with them one way or another online.
Yeah.
Instagram, you know, like they post something on their story, and then you talk, and you go back and forth a little bit, and then you haven't talked to them for a bit, but it's a weird connection. You all kind of stay connected and keep an eye what everyone's doing, how they're all doing. But yeah, it's a big network.
It's very fascinating, like up and coming artists and stuff like that, having the ability to have a free platform like Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube. You can name off piles of them.
Oh yeah.
To actually help. If not, then you're paying promoters. You're paying.
Yeah.
You're like everyone's just shelling out, and it doesn't matter. I've heard stories even from your other band members that it doesn't matter. You've shared as well. People just can get taken.
Yeah.
So easily.
Yeah.
They could be as talented like none other, and you just hear about horror stories, and it's like, do you feel like that's changing a little bit with like how everyone's so aware of absolutely everything in the world? Like I can look up anything I want.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, like you mean like signing like a bad deal?
Signing bad deals, getting with
yeah.
bad people. Like everyone's rating like food trucks they go to.
Yeah.
There's no way that some producer or some label or some whatever it is, they're gonna have a bad name, even if they control the market.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be like, I'm not gonna sign with you because you're just gonna screw me up. Oliver Anthony is a prime example.
Yeah.
He passed up what $8 million contract or whatever number.
Yeah, and he stuck true with what his word was basically, and I don't know too much about all that, but I guess, you know, he just recorded a song in the bush because he liked it, and write songs because he likes to write songs, and one of them went crazy, went viral. Mm-hmm. And that happens all the time. You hear people getting picked up off TikTok, or a YouTube video or a cover goes viral, and the next thing you know, they got a huge following, and a lot of it's an online following, and then they can transpire that or convert that into, well, I'm going to play here, and then now you got people showing up in person to come see them play, and then from there you just, you know, carry on.
Hey, one day it was free, the next day it's $300 a ticket. Stage, right?
No.
Yeah. Like all the work that goes into like what we're doing here, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can only imagine. Like everyone sees the limelight, you're like, oh my god, I like the cars and the jets and stuff. I'm like, still work, like it's still a lot of shit. Like the amount of times that you're here and just one wrong lyric and you're like, oh, it's ruined, redo it. I can see why it takes all day. You're not doing it in one take. Like you're lucky if you can help that out.
No, I know. Most people should be doing it in one take. I should, you know, a few of those songs I did do in one take, but you know, there's a lot of work definitely behind the scenes, and there's this saying going around, everyone's kind of sticking to it. It's like a 10-year thing, 10-year town. You kind of hear that, and it's just like,
well, with everything, 10-year comedian, 10-year YouTuber, 10-year music. I'm like, what are you talking about? Some people just pop off out of nowhere, and it's like by putting in the minimal effort as possible.
Yeah, sometimes, and then other times you got people that work really, really hard on it. Like I know lots of musicians that are up and coming, and they've been working on it a lot longer than I have. Mm-hmm. Like, you know. And a lot harder, and been a lot more involved, and they're starting to get there, and you're like, yeah, it's pretty sweet to see them get through it, right? Mm-hmm. Finally get noticed, and it helps. So it's who you have around you too. Mm-hmm. You got to surround yourself.
Fucking dicks. Like I suspected that we were going to get...
it's going to happen again.
Yeah, 100%. You got two of us not out there with a group of people having a rib fest in the middle of the woods right now. two people that they definitely are be like, where are they?
Yeah, go get him.
Let's go mess with them. They're doing podcasts. What a bunch of losers.
He's in Burton right now, and he's not out here. Let's go get him.
Oh, that's fun though. It's a nice community for that, where people are like, come out and play with us in the woods. Let's go do this. Like, it's a nice spot to live.
Yeah. No, you guys have a good thing going on here in town. Good vibes for sure. Everybody just hanging out with everybody, and
If you don't want to, then you don't want to. You just stay at home.
Yeah.
Right? You just do something
Shut
else.
the curtains, lock the door, turn the TV on.
Well, then you put stuff on social media, as we were talking about before, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh, what are they doing? Let's go see." Blood Dell messaged me right away. What are you guys doing? Are you guys not going out for St. Patrick's Day? And I was like, no, I don't care.
St. Patrick's who?
No, we're recording. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Where we left off was like the music industry part about social media everywhere.
Yeah, I think I was saying like who you have around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's in every line of business. You know, you hear all these guys on their social media platforms, you know, and they're these multi-millionaire billionaires, and they're like, you know, hang around who you want to be, basically, who you would like to, you know, be with, or I don't know how I'm saying that, but
Group of 5. It's like take your 5 close friends, and that will tell you where you're going to go, or like what you're going to be. Like who you're spending the most of your time with is who you are.
Yep, and that's what
to a degree.
Yeah, like they say, you know, the odds of you being a millionaire if you hang out with 4 other millionaires is better than if you hang out with no one. You know, like that isn't a millionaire. And that's the same thing. You can put that in with the music, and it's who you hang out with too. And it just the short little time that I've been kind of going heavier into it, you definitely realize really quick how small of a world it is. And you know, like if you for some reason aren't nice to somebody, or you don't have a good interaction, it's like really,
your career's done.
Well, maybe not done, but it can definitely
set
you back. I feel like I don't know. I've always just tried to be genuine and nice, and just I don't know, have fun with it, because at the end of the day, it is fun. Like it's not my main source of income, and quite frankly, it like pretty much at this point in the game, spending money to do it, as you know, but it.
Do you think you'll be Do you think you'll be worried if it is? Like, you know, like you have like your current role, like you're an arborist, or line clear, right? Do you feel like you want to live on that edge? Do you want to be like, well, I've got, you know, I'm in a union. It's not going anywhere unless, you know, our government or something really screws up big time. Which it's possible.
I say that all the time to the guys at work. There's only 2 things guaranteed in life, and that's death and taxes.
Yeah.
So if you're like, oh, I'm secure in my job, I mean, well, no, nobody's secure in their job. And that'd be the same way for, I see where you're going, like with the music thing, and
because there's always, I forget what song it was with the lyric, or it was a rap song, like there's that save your money, man, because there's going to be someone out in like 6 months going after you.
Yeah.
They're not your friend. They're trying to be number one too.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'm using country music reference, like Hardy, for instance. He was a writer. He wanted nothing to do, from the interviews I've seen. I really don't know him personally, but he wanted nothing to do with being in the limelight. But now he's very in the limelight, like a lot.
Yep.
So it's like,
he's taken right off in the last couple of years.
But it's like with this video editing, with podcasting. With all that, it's same with me. It's like I've got a fairly stable job. Clearly, I have the income to afford all these luxuries and things. And it's like you're like, everyone's like, just jump in and get it. You're like, I learned what I'm doing off YouTube. I don't know anything about the industry. I'm winging it as hard as you could wing it.
Oh yeah.
But you know, like I enjoy it, so I guess that's why it naturally comes out good.
Yeah, and that's it. If it's something you enjoy, you'll naturally tend to do better at it. Or you'll want to do better at it, and it's, you know, I've done lots of stuff in the past between, you know, dirt biking and I still 4-wheel, but, you know, demolition derbies were a big thing for me for a couple of years, and I was like, oh, I want to do that, and I did do it.
Yeah.
Did do decent, you know, we won some stuff, and we got our butts handed to us, but it was something that at that point in time in my life I was so into. But even while I was into that, I was still playing music.
Yeah.
So like if I wasn't derbying, I was doing music, and then finally I was just, when I smashed my arm all up, that's when everything started to change, and I was like, what do I actually...
That was in Derby?
Yeah. I was like, so what do I actually want to do? And it was like, well, you know, I need to work on, because at that point in my forestry career, I wasn't where I wanted to be yet. So I'm like, okay, I need to take a step back and look at this and focus on that. So I did that, and then while I started to do that, and that started to go in the right direction, I was like, okay, now like let's look at a hobby. All right, so I love four wheeling, and I love music, and they say you kind of can only have a few hobbies because you only have so much time in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at.
You're not Asta Cruiser, so you can't really
No,
no.
there's no YouTube channels there, so it, yeah, no, what were we talking about?
I don't know. It's kind of like our conversation started, or the main question was, does it stress you out?
Leaving work.
Yeah. If you were to pop off and then you're gonna jump in, like, can you take a temporary leave so you're like your toes a little bit in still? You're just like, oh, I can always come back to it.
I think with the union that I'm in, I think you can do like you can apply and they will grant you, or they could grant you like an unpaid leave, something like that. And what you would do is I've never done it. I don't know too many guys that have, but apparently you can pay your union dues and you can stay in the union.
Yep.
And I don't know how it would work where I'm at with forestry, what would happen. I would probably get demoted and pushed back into like a different hiring hall or something. But it's definitely like, it's always there in the back of your mind. And right now it's, right now it's, especially where I am with work, is go to work, come home, and you juggling work, family life, music. You're trying to do good here with the family. You're trying to do good here with the bandmates and keep everything going. And it's definitely crossed my mind. Like, I think I even said it there the other day, last week, to one of the guys in the band. I was like, in text, I was like, yeah, this would be pretty cool if I could just quit my job. Yeah. And people would think you're crazy. Like, they'd be like,
why would you do that?
And I would be distraught. Like, yeah, I'm going to quit my day job. And that's like a joke. Like, don't ever quit your day job, buddy. And
yeah.
Here I am. But no, can't really see it happening. But if it ever did, yeah, I feel like I would probably make the jump and just go with it.
How are you managing that? Like everything you described there, I mean, that's like a really small thing that you said, but in actuality, it's the most part of your life. How do you manage with having to drive to Detroit from where you live, basically, to work all week, and you've got a newborn and a wife at home, you've got family here, and then your band buddies, and luckily for the internet, you can do a lot of this remote, but it's not the same. It's like you're watching your child grow up through a fucking tablet.
It's tough. It's not easy. That's honestly, this will sound crazy. The hardest thing is doing the video calls with Riker, like and Leah, and it's just like that's when it really hits you. And when you're not on the phone, like looking at them on the screen, and you're kind of concentrating on what else is going around you on down there while you're working, you kind of forget about it for a bit. Not necessarily forget, but it's in the background. But then when you're sitting there and you're like talking to them, and you're sitting in your apartment, and it's just like, what am I doing?
Am I in prison? Am I in prison?
Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I have a house, a wife, a dog, and a beautiful boy back home, and I'm sitting down here, and it's it's kind of like sacrifices. It's a good job, it's great union, good benefits, good pension, blah 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 blah, and kind of got to do it. It's just the way things work out, and
you're just doing your time.
Doing my time. It's all seniority based, right? So once my time comes around, older people retire and phone calls start happening, then, guys are all trying to move back closer to home. And it's definitely not easy juggling that, especially just throwing the band into it. And then it's just like, boom, well, right away. So some weekends I'll leave for Chatham on Sunday nights, sometimes 8:00 after Riker goes to bed, or I'll leave Monday mornings at like 2:30 and I get down there for 6:30. And then I come home on Friday nights. I get home Friday nights usually about 7:30 if there's no traffic. So right there, it's just like,
how much hour in commuting?
It's right there. And then you're like, okay, so I know not this weekend. Well, I knew we had this coming up this weekend, but next weekend I come home on the Friday, and then on the Saturday spend some time with the family Saturday morning, and then Saturday night we're off playing with my parents' band at the Legion. So it's a juggle for sure. And I'm sure some people are, they might not say it to my face or to my family, but they're probably judging, and they're like, oh, he needs to be around more. It's like, well, when I started pushing more into the music, I sat down, talked with Leah, and I was like, you know, like this is something that I want to do. And she was all for it, fully supportive. And I love her for that, for sure. Because it's just like, oh, like, yeah, I could, you know. And then she's just like, no, like, you should. And she's like, you know, we'll be here, we'll support you. And I said to her at the time, I was like, just give me 10 years. Just give me 10 years at this. And I'm like, here's why. And she's like, you don't even got to explain why. Just do it. And I want you to do it. And I'm like, yeah, but I need to tell you this so I feel better about it.
Yeah.
And she's just like, okay. I'm like,
I don't care. Just get famous. I don't have to fucking do shit.
yeah. Yeah. Well,
I want a nady.
yeah.
I want to clean the shit.
No. Well, I said to her, and at the end of the day, famous, not famous, a song pops off and you're doing well. For me, it's all like, and I've said it several times, I don't want to get to 50 or 60 years old and look back on life and be like,
You didn't do shit.
I really wish I did that. Oh, I wish I played more. I wish I played more music. Or I wish when I went out with the guys and played that bar. And I was like, I don't want to be that age and look back and be like, I really wish I did that. I'd rather get to that age, and even if nothing happens, which is a good chance, nothing will ever happen for me musically, but in the odd sense that it did, but even still, if it never did, at least I can get to the end, get to retirement age and be like, yeah, heck, like, we didn't do any, we lost money, but you know what? I had a lot of good times, a lot of memories, and I made a lot of friends. And that's a big thing, right? Is acquaintances, friends, bandmates.
You get to travel based upon it, which I've kind of seen
Well,
a
you
little
came
bit.
with us. We went to Kingston and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's,
that was wild. That was so much fun.
oh yeah, that was a time and a half.
And I was sober. I was like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Usually, yeah, let's go to a bar, and you're like, no, I'm doing my thing. I'm taking photos. I'm watching you guys do stuff, and I see all the drunk people around me. That's when I realized I do not like being around drunk people sober.
Yeah.
Fuck that. It's so like you got people bumping up to you. It's like, yeah, you're dead.
take my picture.
Yeah, I'm
take
like,
my
fuck
picture.
off. No, it's like I'm like, sure, here you go. Great, you'll never see it. Bye. Like,
And that's the same for us. I'm sure there's people that, you know, are watching what I'm kind of doing and what we're doing and playing music, and they're like, oh, he's just out, you know, partying and drinking all the time and everything else.
it's the furthest from it, actually.
Literally, and like, you know, when you started like kind of coming around with us and capturing content, you're kind of like, oh yeah, like what's the, and you like quickly realize it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
It's like grind, a lot of water, and you're just working.
Sweaty.
So you're
sweaty.
working 100% of the time, then you get off the stage and it's just like quick break, whatever, bathroom, and then back to it. And then when it's done, pack up as quick as you can, truck, home.
Yeah.
It's like bed.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, did you even have a beer? No. A lot of the times when I play, it's like I won't even, like, we're having some whiskeys today, but I won't even do that when we're playing.
Yeah, no, that's true. I did notice that. I was like, I'm like, okay, like I've tried to do multiple jobs. It's like, you know, grab you guys a drink or like a little bit of security. Everyone just assumes my size and I'm fucking security. Like, oh, do you take pictures? No, fuck that.
Security guard.
Yeah, security guard. But yeah, it's true. I mean, everyone hustles, and it's a unique band that you guys got. You're just like grassroots, whatever you want to call it, guys that are just all musically talented like motherfuckers.
Oh, they are talented.
Yeah, every one of you, every single one of you is fucking good. Like I would never like be like I'm just picking Dylan off the street and be like, holy fuck, does he ever get ever on drums?
Oh, they're a good band, and because they played together for so long, even before I came into the picture, they're so tight, and it's just like, you know, you could, yeah. And Dylan and Stu, like Stu's on bass, and him and Dylan have been playing together for longer, I think, than when they've been with Daryl and Adam. So they're so tight, and that's key in a band. If you can get the drummer and the bass player just hooked in, it can keep the show going for sure. Like just driving on.
Yeah,
But yeah, they're so talented, man. Adam and Daryl, they're all
does Adam talk?
not much.
I was gonna say he's the quietest motherfucker I've ever met.
No, he's a beauty. It'll be funny.
He's so good at guitar.
Oh my god, man. Well, just the chicken picking alone on the Telecaster. It's hard to find someone that can chicken pick like that.
What the fuck is that?
I can't even. Some guitar guy might watch this and tell me I'm explaining it wrong, but you're basically
Fuck him. Come on here and talk shit. I don't care.
you're almost playing like a fingerstyle guitar with if you're left-handed or right-handed, you're almost playing with your just your digits on your right hand, and it's the way you're plucking the strings and like accenting.
Almost
with,
like a banjo player.
Yeah, with like double stops. Very similar to a banjo player, but it's not as quite like not a lot of rolling on it like that. I would say, but
He's subtle about it.
Yeah, and obviously I've never been a crazy guitar player. Like when I learned guitar, I think I started taking it like back in grade 6. I was the kid at school with the guitar on my shoulder, and then I pull it out and I would play like 3-chord AC/DC song, and I'd probably screw it up, And I never really took guitar lessons. Like my dad showed me some stuff, obviously because he played forever. And like Marty Schwartz on YouTube, everyone learned from the Guitar King there, Marty, and stuff like that. But I never actually learned guitar properly, for sure. And it does show, and there's certain things though. Like I can't, in my life right now, I can't be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go and change my whole profession now and relearn. I'm too far in. So at some point, I continue to work and practice my guitar, but for me to sit here and say, this time in 6 months, I'm going to be just as good a guitar player as Adam. It's like, no, that's not accurate. Like it just,
there's so many other functions of what
there's too much going on. If I had nothing else in my life going on and I could sit down and play guitar for 3 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, I would probably get better at that, but I wouldn't be at that level. You know what I mean? And it's, he's just, they're phenomenal. And that's,
No, that's, it's definitely fascinating seeing all the different skill sets that people have in that group. And then what you guys don't have time for is social media and promotion. And all that other shit. But you gotta, I guess like everyone says, you gotta cut your teeth to do it. We went to Nashville for the first time. Shout out to Nashville.
Yeah.
That was wild during the CMAs. Yeah. There was people, and I'm like, you guys are talented too, but there's people playing in Willie Nelson's souvenir shop that this broad and her family sitting there. Mom was just tapping on the thing. She's doing good. And I'm like, why do you not sign? Like, you sound better than anybody on American Idol. And like, I guess everyone's there doing it. We met a guy in the trailer park that played for his rent and was on Broadway too. And you look at him, you're like, you look like the caddy for, I don't know, maybe if he sees this, shouldn't talk shit. But you look like the caddy for John Daly. That's what you remind me of a little bit. But then he sings.
Oh yeah,
phenomenal. Like fucking nuts.
Oh man, that town, like everybody plays, everybody sings, and it's so true. Like your bartenders are there when they're bartending, they're bartending, but when they're not, they're singing, playing, doing whatever. It's so. And I remember the first time we went to Nashville, I think it was 2018. We went with another couple, and I've been wanting to go for a while, and I think they booked it. I think the girls booked it. I can't remember if it was a Christmas gift. And then we went in, we ended up being about the week before CMA Fest. So they gave it to us on Christmas. I'm pretty sure it was Christmas. Might have been Valentine's Day. It was one of those gifts. And anyways, long story. But we went, I remember going down, like you say, you bump into somebody at a shop and they can sing and play and it's amazing. But I remember we stayed north of town, a little bit sketchy spot. Sketchy hotel.
By the Grand Ole Opry?
No,
Opryland sort of?
No, I forget even where it was now, but it was more. It was about a 10-minute Uber ride or Lyft ride or cab ride back in to the city, and it was kind of, like you're walking up past the Waffle House and you're going up to the liquor stores, and you're just doing a double take because you don't.
Am I gonna get robbed?
Well, maybe not, but you're kind of out of your element a little bit, and you're like, oh, this is cool, but it was just a little bit, maybe a rougher part of town that we stayed in, and for instance, we literally get there, we get out of the hotel, waiting for our cab to show up, and we see a tow truck go by with a car on it with 7 or 8 bullet holes along the side, and we're all like.
Oh yeah, they have guns here.
I'm like, oh yeah, this is not Canada.
No.
So we're down there, and we walk across the road from the hotel to Taco Bell or something, and we come out of Taco Bell, and there's a guy standing there with a backpack on, and he just looked like he was walking around and doing whatever, and he just come up to us, started talking, and he's like, oh yeah, and he starts talking, oh, I sing and play. And it's like, at first you're kind of like, okay, man. And then one of the girls was like, well, sing us your favorite song. What do you love to sing? And I forget what it is now, but he popped off and I was just, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, oh my God. Like how, and same thing. How are you not like, and,
Blown up.
and it's so crazy. And back to social media, like, I think back in the day before these platforms came around, it was harder for people to get noticed for sure. And then now
sending in a cassette or a CD
to a radio
video,
station, hoping that the producer behind
whatever
likes it. Yeah, it doesn't just chuck it in the garbage pail. So now it's completely different, and now it's all more like fan based. Like someone discovers you online and they share it, and then they share it, and then it's all these shares. Next thing you know, you're going around.
I think the model is they're trying to buy followers. So like if you've got a big following or a big group, like I guess I don't fucking know. I'm not in it at all, but that would make sense where you're like, oh, you've got already a big following. It's like we just have to give you some money, put some money or some more money behind you, and then look at we've just got sales.
Yeah.
And then I guess you could go another route where someone finds somebody who doesn't have that, who sings like an angel, and you're like, oh shit, that's fucking getting them before they do that. And you're like fishing. You're like, oh, this one's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It one hell of a business, like for sure.
Yeah, it's totally wild and
it's entertainment. People are entertaining. I was going back to it with your guys' shows. People have a great time.
Yeah,
like the presence, the look, maybe people can like
feel at home a little bit.
Yeah, like recognize with you guys a little bit. I'm trying to think of the word, but because I'm on the spot, you know what I mean? Where they're just like, hey, I know people like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you look at me up there and it's just like, you don't look like a superstar. And it's just like, well, no.
What did I say what did I say about Stu? He looks like he fries bologna with a cigarette in his mouth. Great guy, super funny, super talented. But it's just like certain people's like he looks like a rough, like aggressive dude. He's not. He's like, for every time I've seen him, I'm like, I've met like unassuming people, pieces of shit. Him, very nice person to talk
Teddy
to.
Bear.
Yeah, 100%. The neck tattoos and shit. And I'm like, this is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I think sometimes people look at us or like at the band, and they're like a little unorthodox or like whatever.
Perfect.
But yeah, and then when they hear it, it's just like, oh yeah, they can vibe. It's we're usually rocking pretty good. The guys 100% just pound the show out for sure. And
yeah, it's ever the whole time. Sometimes you guys don't even do breaks. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just forget.
A lot of the solo shows I've been doing, you know, I will, like, if I'm not with the band, I will sip the odd drink at a solo show or whatever. And yeah, sometimes we won't even take a break. We'll just play right on through. And it's, you know, it is a time.
Where do you think the industry's going now? Like you've been playing, like you said, since you were a child till now, and obviously we listen to music, we do all that stuff. You're playing it, we're living it.
Yeah.
What do you project? What are you just thinking is going to happen with this? Like we're mucking around with our own stuff and getting recognized pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are popping off. The Canadian Drone Guys. Hey, you guys are well over 1,000 followers now.
I wish we picked a different name, even my partner, but it's the same thing. Or like, what the fuck? But no one cares. It's like the more plates, more dates guy that ends up on Joe Rogan and stuff all the time. He's like, I wish they switched my name. And then Joe's like, just leave it, man. You're already there. Yeah. Like, people know you that way.
CDG, man.
Yeah, CDG, yeah. And that's fucking taken.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of Canadian Drone Guys, but no, I don't know. Like, obviously, I'm so fresh in the music industry, and in a sense, I really don't have a clue what's going on. There'd be a lot of people that would laugh and be like, yeah, you don't. Like, but just from what I see, like,
we're doing this from nothing up here.
Yeah.
Like, there's no family lineage of, like, recording backgrounds.
No.
We had that one, Megan Patrick is the only person we know around here that's kind of made it.
Yeah, she's kind of like the local. I'm not going to say specifically where we are, but she's the local-ish superstar to the area. And
there could be other ones. I'm not trying to be like, I don't know anyone else. I'm just saying, I was like, country is a genre. I generally country, rap, rock, all that stuff that I listen to. But that's the one that you heard that's kind of gone there. But it's like, is she George Strait big yet? Is she Carrie Underwood big yet? Is she? I don't know her well enough. I don't follow her well enough to know that. But
neither do I.
She's playing the dream, I guess.
Oh yeah, well she's living the dream, right? She's down there now, and yeah, I don't know Megan at all, other than I just follow her along on her journey on social media, and everything she's doing, she's working her butt off for it, and it's all anyone can do is just work at it, and yeah, she's doing really good. A lot of Canadian musicians are doing really, really good right now, and where do you see it going? Just more music, more good music, and I think this is just an opinion. I'm not an expert by no means, but I think from looking at what's going on is you're starting to see what I said before, like the more of the people's choice, kind of the crowd vote is starting to go more towards. It seems to be, anyways, towards like the more genuine, not like overproduced. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I can relate with this guy. Like, perfect example. Oliver Anthony didn't have a $300,000 recording contract at a recording studio to record that song, and that song made it to the top of the charts.
Oh, I think three of his songs were top 3 for a few weeks.
Yeah, and it was recorded in the bush off like a Shure, a phone and a Shure microphone, and
was it a Shure microphone?
I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
Rode, Shure, something.
Something picked up good, and then obviously somebody got a hold of it and edited and loved the piss out of it.
Yeah. I don't even know how edited it would be. I bet you it's pretty cut and dry. And
it's pretty fucking clean.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, and look
from my experience, again, not a sound engineer, but from what you look at on someone's phone, and it's not like a creak or a crack. Like we're filming today, and the fucking stool was creaking.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh my god, get new shit now. I'm like, that's out. Yeah, got to make gaskets and whatnot.
Well, the thing Johnny's got to understand too, and he does, is this isn't like a per se like a recording studio. It's a it's a podcast studio. You don't record music in a podcast.
It's a secret. That's what it is. Nobody's gonna know where it is, unless people that live near me and they're like, "You're a dork." Everyone knows where it is, but
no, I'm not saying what it is or where it is, but it's not a recording studio.
It's pretty cool. It's my garage.
No, it's not. But no, yeah. Well, all I can say on that is I guess I can't wait to see where the music thing goes, like as far as like the industry and what people are doing and who's getting picked up and new music that's coming. And just from what I see online, and I should be more educated on it, but some of the new music that I see that's getting ready to be dropped in this, like 2024, is going to be pretty cool. Like all these other artists and stuff. So I'm like,
are you talking about locally connected to us? Is that what you're talking about?
No, not even that. Like just like, I mean, like I'm trying to think who. Like someone was online and they were saying, they showed like this breakdown of what artists were projected to release what albums and what singles and stuff like that and EPs in this year, and it's just like, man, and this is just gonna like keep popping off, and we're seeing it kind of already. Like you look at Boots and Hearts, semi-local music festival to us, and they're last year they have Nickelback at a country concert.
Greatest band of all time. Great band.
Love it. Like, that's awesome.
I don't even know why they had any other artists there. They can all suck it. They're all trash.
But I think that just shows you kind of can say where it's going. Like it's more of like an inclusive, and some people are like, that's not country, that's not country, that's country. Well, like who the heck are we to really just music is music, and it's going to land on the charts. It's going to land.
It all blends and jives with everything.
I mean, Beyonce has come out with a country song, so like to me, it's
back the truck. It says Texas. It's not fucking country.
Oh,
she's famous as hell. Her husband's famous as hell. I don't give a fuck. They're never going to be on the show.
Who's her husband?
Jay-Z.
Is that who she married?
Yeah.
Oh, really? See, I don't know.
They have the biggest people.
I'm not
in music. It doesn't matter. She can make the worst fucking song imaginable. She's still gonna be number one. That's not a fucking country song. They put in her that genre. Fuck that.
Did you see how it's someone come out and I forget the Canadian's name. I think it was Canadian, and it's like Turtle the Franklin, the kids movie. Did you see that?
Yeah.
How he's like, that's a copyright of my song, and when you play the two songs together, it's like
it's the same.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know that's been going on for a long time. People saying that's my song, and
that's how the whole music industry started. Yeah. Because rock was deliberately taken from stealing, like generally the blues, black music. It was taken from that and changed.
Yep.
Like you get inspiration from anything. It's
it's like
draw this picture. Was it original? Well, technically, because I drew it, but I got inspiration from something else.
Yeah. No, it's the same thing.
Yeah. So it's obviously it's not word for word or note for note, but the "Till It's Gone" by Yellow Wolf.
Yeah.
You know that song I'm talking about? It's a banger. But that was directly from the Walking Dead intro.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll play it for you later. I
Yeah.
like obviously can't play it on here, I get pulled, but
Oh, that's a whole
copyright.
That's a whole other
Copyright strike.
Yeah. It's a whole other thing too, with songs getting pulled off TikTok and stuff like that. And
I don't know why they want to ruin it. It's like our online censorship that's coming up here. That's going to be fun if that passes in this.
the way I look at that is, and again, I don't know enough in the industry to really even be talking about it, but I'm like kind of half and half. Okay, I get it. The label of these artists is wanting to make sure that their artists are getting paid properly for their songs that are out there, but then. Well, and in a turn, obviously they're making sure their pockets are getting padded because they're losing. They're like, oh, we're losing out on money. But then, you know, these artists are going online saying, this is my platform. That's my song.
Yeah.
Why can't I have it on my platform?
Yeah.
And then some artists are like, I would have made $12 off of royalties off it. Like, just leave it alone. Mm-hmm. Now it's not even. Now I can't even have it on my platform. Mm-hmm. Now I can't show my 100,000 followers this song. They'll never hear it. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know. It's I can see both sides of it for sure, but I think that part's a little crazy. But
I think they need to capitalize on these platforms that people have to get as much exposure out there, and then just charge it for on tickets.
Yeah,
that's what people are doing. It's like I could only imagine what your Brooks and Dunn's ticket cost. It's like, oh, we should. Yeah. I'm like, no, I don't think so.
So as I was saying today, the whole Brooks and Dunn thing, I was talking with Leah, and we were on our quad ride a couple of weeks ago, and a buddy was riding with me. We were talking about it because they're going as well, and he's like, well, like where are you? And I'm like, well, we're sitting a little closer to the stage, and it was. I said to Leah when I was booking it, I'm like, we were supposed to go see, I think it was like Midland, Riley Green, and Luke Combs in Philadelphia before Riker was even born. But that got canceled, I think due to COVID. And then we were supposed to see the Black Crowes in Toronto, but that was definitely COVID, canceled that. So we haven't really done any like big concert, just the two of us, date night, like just us two. And
get her liquored up and just go to town.
Hanging around. We haven't really done that. And I just said to her when I was about to book it, I'm like, we're going on a date night. And I'm getting nice.
I'm going to treat my lady.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting nice
tickets. Take her for a nice keg supper. And there we go.
So, yeah, I joke because it's like, oh, we might have dropped a mortgage payment on them, but we didn't. But
you're probably $5 easily. Up.
I'm just happy. I'm looking forward to it because she brought it up today when we were coming back from her hair appointment in Lakefield. She's just like, yeah, I got a dress. Like, she's all excited for it. So I'm like, when?
Baby round two.
Yeah. Oh, no.
You're going to name the child Brooks and Dunn this time?
D&D. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a fun summer. We got, my
summer's booked.
Yeah.
Done.
I know. And a lot of people kind of don't relate, or they do relate. Some people don't. And, they're like, oh, you're always so busy. You're always doing that. It's like, it's how I've always kind of been. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be doing something else. And it just so happens that this stuff, as you've seen, because I sent you our schedule, like we schedule everything way out. And
did you send me your schedule?
Email?
I gotta check again.
Yeah, I think you're on there.
Am I?
Yeah, you should be.
Okay.
If not, it's probably a typo. It probably went to someone else. Probably went to some other lead.
I drink and smoke weed sometimes.
Yeah.
I should double check this.
Well, I send that out, and the guys, and we all start looking at it, and it's like, yeah, between that and family camping and other events going on the different weekends that were around, and you look at the summer and that the schedule for the year, and it's like we are booked busy until at least end of October. But then when October comes, you have stuff coming into November and December, so it's crazy.
Doesn't stop.
No, it literally doesn't stop. But yeah,
I wouldn't want to do it any other way. I mean, I kind of get bored just sitting still. You know what I mean? You can only watch so much YouTube. Winter sucks here.
Yeah,
it really does. You're like, if you don't got stuff going on, You're like, oh, what are you doing now? It just becomes repetitive. It was like living during COVID. Every day was the same fucking thing.
Yep.
You can only drink so much, and then you're like, I got a problem, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. No. Well, now you see it's like music. You're playing in the winter. You're doing different bars and writing songs and doing all sorts of different stuff. Like even what we did today is great. And
I can't wait to do more of that. It's so much fun.
It's all content, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
and not everyone's gonna have the same audio setup or the same like support like that.
well, they could. You just got to bring Johnny back.
Got it, man. Got it,
Put him
man.
on the show. We need him sitting back here on like a chair, just monitoring our levels.
Yeah, he just goes, no, ruined.
What? Oh, I'm like, what song was it? I forget, but I'm like,
Cody Jinks?
yeah, maybe the Cody Jinks song. I'm literally definitely past the chorus for sure, and he just like puts his hand up slowly in the back, and I look over and he's like, "Stop!" So it's just like, okay, stop. I wasn't recording. Really? Like, man, that's your job. Like,
At the same time, I had the camera rolling, and I was like, and I must have hit a button or it didn't go the full way because the record button on the camera is like that big. But then, but then like my shooting, well, you can. I do it to check audio stuff all the time, right? You can see the gains on the top.
Yeah.
It's got for shooting pictures. It's fine. It's a big button, but when you go to record, because it's not primarily meant for doing video, but now all the mirrorless cameras are phenomenal at it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good at it. I know I'm not a camera expert, but this one works great for what I can afford. Right. So
Takes great content.
yeah. Right. So I must have missed it or something. I was like, oh, thank God I missed that. But then I had my phone going too simultaneously. So that's kind of neat having both of those avenues. It makes me feel like a bigger production. I was the last guest on here was Jeff.
Yeah.
And we were talking about podcast setup.
What's his nickname?
El Jefe. Because he gets drunk and he has an alter ego. It's like Frank. It's the same thing. They're almost the same. He doesn't give a fuck at all. It is pretty funny to watch.
Does he get the look in his eyes too? Just like,
no, no. You think he's there, but he's not.
yeah,
He's gone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was pouring drinks, and he's like, "That right there would have me on the floor, without a doubt." And I'm like, "Okay, either I'm really good at digesting or metabolizing alcohol, or I'm an alcoholic."
seasoned pro.
I don't know. Yeah, it was just a minor fuck up, but I mean, it just happens. Luckily, you got multiple, but the multiple camera things on podcasts, it's like I would have one there, you would have one there, and
Yeah.
have a third one there. That's $30,000.
Yeah, well,
Not $30,000.
just go to the bank, sign up.
I'm really good at not going into debt. Is my like I know I'll cover the spread eventually. I'll lead time at about a year.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's just like, or with, I'm like, I've got an inkling that, I'll work extra hours, or I'll, what everyone else does, sell scrap money or whatever the fuck it is.
Yep.
Prostitute myself. OnlyFans is doing great.
OnlyFans.
My
Yeah.
OnlyFans is
Feet Finder. Check me out on Feet Finder.
like, that's fun. Or, you sell some crap that you've had for years and you didn't think was worth anything, like an old 4-wheeler or some shit. And then I just level up with that, like Lana being pregnant. That's where I'm like, well, I'll sell the 4-wheeler and I'll cover the spread on the audio video, and then as a side gig, maybe it will help make money in the future. Maybe it doesn't, but I've always loved cameras for some reason. I've always wanted to do production and videos. No idea why. It's just always been in my head. I'm like, I got to do it, and I pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I notice it's so bad now that I notice fake edits. I notice bad sound stuff. Watching videos, like watching a Paramount movie or any of that stuff, when they're switching angles or how they're doing stuff. Yeah, not even that, but just like they're like, oh, different camera. Same shot, different camera, different angle. Like how many cameras this production has. Audio, down to a little bit. I'm like, that sounds weird. Stuff people send me on social media, I'm like, fake. Instantly, I'm like, that's fake.
Yeah.
And they're like, how do you can tell? I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this, but it's like you listening to somebody play guitar, and you're like, he just missed a note. He missed a lyric.
Yeah.
He or she, whoever the fuck it is. But it's the same thing. You get too into the weeds. It's like listening to a V8 and be like, timing's a bit off.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. You're like, that's not running. Left bank's running lean.
Yeah. It's got a thick camera.
Yeah.
Sure. No.
It's the same thing with that. But getting back to like this whole thing, I really want to promote up and coming people, like I said earlier, to get a voice, get some sort of a platform, a little help, a little edge, a little boost. help people in the same community. You're going to come in here and have an interview about who you are, what you're all about, what you want to do.
Yeah, no.
And
we didn't even do that. We just started talking.
I don't know. I think it is. I mean, people get to know you this way. I mean, I can't wait to have the rest of your band members on if they want to. They want to come be a part of it. We've also got a lounge area that I'm thinking that might be fun just to kind of josh around and shoot the bull.
Yeah, that'd be a cool spot too. Even just like sit on like more flat, like down on couches and just lean back.
Everyone's got a mic on them
and vibe and just chat.
Yeah,
you have to.
This is, I think, how people are really going to see what you guys are really about, or
Yeah.
who you are behind the thing, where you're not just someone else playing music. You're like, you know, we got the
There's
same
a
core
human.
values. Yeah,
There's a human there.
yeah, and you're not being manipulated by a label to be this thing
No.
for this agenda.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I don't got anyone telling me to shed the extra 60 pounds that I should shed and, whiten my smile and...
Yeah,
and
I can do that on post.
Right. Right, not a certain way.
Yeah.
No.
Lose all your friends.
Yeah.
Well, you might if you like pop off too much there. It's like, well, you guys want to go to Tahiti? It's like, well, I can't afford that. Okay. See you later.
I don't know. Yeah, it would just be, and I love all the friends that I do have and everyone in the circle. And I hear it from time to time. It's like, oh, you're never around. And you try. And everyone's busy. And you're about to find out too. Everyone's doing their own thing. Everyone's busy. And then when you throw a kid in the mix or two kids, it's just like, yep. Like now we're really busy, and it's tough to get together. And
I think we're both fortunate that way with our wives. That they take a lot on, and like with the child role, I know they'll be Lana's best friend, and they'll go everywhere and do everything.
Totally, dude. Totally.
And until they get to like the where they follow you around, like where Riker is now with you, right? Where it's just like they want to come out with you and work on the truck too, even though they're not doing anything. Oh, yeah. Right? They want to cut trees down or just like look at the tree go. You want to do fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the amount of times I've seen you guys go places and do things, and Riker's with Leah, and they're just hanging out.
Yep.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, we could be doing worse things.
Oh. Don't let me get started.
Top.
I might need one. No, yeah, for sure. You could be doing a lot worse things.
Mike's gonna love this. Oh my God, it's ladybugs. Ugh. Brother.
Ooh, buddy.
Brother. What is this? Somebody sent me the full clip of that, and it's like he's giving some sort of a speech. It's like, brother.
No, we definitely like Lana's gold, right? You guys are so great, and it is good to. Can I steal some pop?
I guess
it is good. Just a touch of color. It is good to have that. And,
you on a diet or something, there, buddy?
Going easy. I have to drive home after.
No, I told you. I'll get my old lady to drive you home or something.
No. Maybe I could tax on my old lady. She can pick me up.
Yeah.
Might not end so well.
No, you don't think so?
No, she's good. She's there.
Really?
No, not at all. It's never been that. I'd be lost without her. And the amount, like you say, Riker and her are like best friends, and it's crazy to see her turn like from being like my best friend, and she'll always be my best friend and love of my life, and then all of a sudden it's just you throw the kid in it. Boom! One day you have a kid in your hand, and then to watch them go full mom mode, like I swear something chemically switches in them, and they just go full mom, and it's unbelievable, and I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Tell me if you share this experience. Lana goes from being like would bend over backwards for everybody, take so much shit. She would like the nicest person, like her. She's like literally a. You want more ginger ale, there, buddy?
Nope.
Like literally
half and half. It's good.
Literally, thanks.
Sloppy here.
A Disney commercial about everything. Everything's great. Everything's wonderful. Now she's just like, fuck that guy. Like, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I got no patience for your dumb ass anymore. And I'm like, finally, it's like a lot of burden for me to be like that all the time. But it's like, it's nice seeing her not just taking shit anymore. And it's just like, nope, I'm worried about me and myself now, and not always like concerning about how everyone else feels or thinks. And It's like, just do you. I'm like, everyone at the end of the day is worried about their own life. They're worried about their own mortgage.
100%.
It's like, look after you first, and then take care of somebody else.
Yep.
Like that's all you can do. Because if you're not okay, it's like how are you supposed to help somebody else out? You're just
No, that's right.
like you end up in that misery loves company nonsense, and it's like, and I don't ever want to live that life.
No,
I don't.
no, definitely not.
I like helping people. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I like seeing people progress and doing stuff. But and like as long as my mortgage is paid and I still have a job and my wife's okay with stuff and our dogs are fine, as long as the one doesn't fucking bark all the time. That was perfect. I was okay with that.
Yeah,
When he loses it when another dog goes
that
by,
was so funny.
tail starts giving her. But yeah, is Leah kind of the same? Is there any similarities there where as soon as she became pregnant, then she just kind of had like that whole mentality change?
Oh yeah, to a degree for sure. And I don't know if it's 100% similar to Lana and stuff, but it's almost magic. Like they people said it right, and when you're going into it, you're kind of so lost in your head. You're like whatever. Like they're like no, like a pregnant woman glows, and when you actually like,
It's true.
when you look back, and now that I've been through it with Leah, and I see someone else that is pregnant, and I got buddies with kids that they're expecting kids, and you see their wives, and it's just like there's a glow. It's like this weird glow, and yeah, like for sure, and
sleepy. They get sleepy. They get heartburny.
and they there's some mood swings.
I haven't had that.
No?
No. Other than when she's like really tired and then she just has like a snippy little comment or something like that. And that's only twice I can think of. But I would say I'm like for an anomaly to the situation. She's been good the whole time with it, which I don't envy because you're growing this in you.
Oh,
and she's just like, he's so heavy. And she's already referring to he. So I'm like, I hope that way. I mean, either way, I don't care, guy or girl. But
you guys aren't finding out.
no, I'd say my typical joke, but I mean, we're gonna go definitely get pulled up.
No, don't say that.
No,
I said the same thing, and
let it be a surprise. That's what she wants to do. I don't care.
Yep.
I mean, I'd say a guy or girl. I'm gonna love them the same either way.
100% happy, healthy, good to go.
A little bit of ADHD, slight reading disability, just like Dad. If not, then I know it's not my kid.
Yeah, come out with tattoos already.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, good to go. No,
a little Stone Cold Steve Austin, little mini one, goatee and everything.
Yeah, no, it's an experience and a half, and yeah, like I had not to say I just the whole newfound respect for women and what they go through when they go through a pregnancy. I was just the whole thing, like seeing everything and going through everything from start to finish. I was just like, I can't and I swear, if I ever hear, Riker back talking to her one day, or like, I will set him so straight, be like, buddy, you would not even be alive right now without your mother. So don't you ever ever talk to her. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's just like,
you're going to tear this house up.
He'll never see the whole beginning of what she did for him and will continue to do for him. I know, because she's such a good mom, and it's just, the women, it's crazy in a sense.
I would say
they're so strong. Like the first thing I thought when I saw everything happening, I was like, she is.
Did you look?
Wait. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh,
you saw it all. You saw her.
It was. I don't want to go like totally crazy into the whole experience, but
do you got pictures you can show?
Yeah, we'll post my.
Yeah, we need to post.
You got that picture right here, so we can see it on the screen.
We'll put it up there.
No, but like her pregnancy, like when we got to the hospital,
yeah, she had C-section.
Yeah, emergency C-section, and it was like 36 hours of labor. It was insane. I couldn't believe what was going on. I was like, this doesn't seem normal, but the nurses were like, this is fine. Like, we just monitor. They monitor the baby's heartbeat, and and she tried to go quite a while with what's the back. The epidural.
I need an epidural.
And she got to a point where like she was having trouble breathing, and then they're like, "Hey, like you should consider doing it." And then she did.
Oh, she didn't want to.
No, she was just going full like didn't want it. And then I was like, "You are so strong. Like there's no way." And then to watch the epidural process and everything else, I'm like, oh man, they're actually superheroes for sure.
I've always said that women are tougher than guys.
Hands down.
Hands down. Manual labor, they're not better at it. But definitely.
How dare she operate that piece of equipment than me? Hey? No, it was a crazy experience, and, I'm just super grateful. Everything went well, and we have, happy, healthy, because you know.
Your kid's cute as fuck.
Oh, he's
You can
getting
tell it's your kid. Yeah, 100%. Well, that one you posted of like you and your dad,
Yeah,
and then you and Wright, I was like 100%. You can tell.
yeah. Everyone says that, and it's weird. Like you might see it too. Like when your kid's born, you're like, I don't
It's like the Amazon.
Yeah, that's the milkman.
We don't have milk. We got Amazon.
Yeah, we have Amazon. No, but
There's a lot of fucking toilet paper dropped off that month.
Uh-huh. No, and it's weird because everyone's like, "Oh, he looks just like you. Look just like he looks just like you," and it's like you looking, and it's like I don't know, I don't see it. I just don't. But then now he's getting to that age where he starts to develop his little character and his attitude and a bit of his sauciness, and it's just like, oh damn,
Don't you ever?
like oh dang, I'm in for it.
Yeah.
It's like that's mini me for sure. I forget what he's doing today, but it was cheeky, and he kind of like gives you that like side grin smirk, and it's like, oh yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble. A little taste of my own medicine.
Yeah.
But it's the best. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Everyone says the same thing, but it's really funny. It's like the culture is, oh, when are you gonna have kids? When are you gonna have kids? Everyone does this, and it's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Like everyone, the one thing people can take from this is stop fucking doing it.
Yeah. Don't ask people.
Yeah, or it's like when are you gonna have kids? But then it turns into you're fucked. As soon as you say that you're having kids, you're like, ha, you're in our group now. It becomes a club where you're like, you're in our group now, and you're like, you're not gonna sleep anymore. I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm like, I'm definitely really ignorant with this comment here because we don't have kids yet. I've been around lots of. My mom ran a daycare when I was a child, so it's like I'm not ignorant to kids. Everyone always tries to teach me about kids. I'm like, I've spent more time with people's kids of all ages than anybody, hands down. And it's like, and I just don't like that in my atmosphere. I don't like 10 kids in my house. I just don't. But from Lana's experience now has been fairly decent. There, I mean, probably not for her, but I mean for me as her husband, I don't really see it as like, yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's not undoable. And then like that's how we're gonna approach. And we both said the same thing. We're gonna approach the rest of it the same way. It's like you'll have a bunch of uncomfortableness, but it's all very doable.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I've done lots of things that are hard in my life too, and yeah, you're gonna care for them and stuff. The biggest concern that I've seen so far is you got a book for daycare now or childcare now.
You should have booked before you guys got pregnant.
Yeah, I'm like, we're talking about building more roads and shit in Ontario. I'm like, fix the fucking childcare thing, you dummies. Like, oh, we need more people. Then fucking do something about it. Don't sit there and be like, oh, well, we're going to worry about climate change. No, you need to worry about how to fucking house and keep people working. Then be like, oh, we need to spend our money on this or send it to some fucking global conflict. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't want to spend $2,000 a week on fucking daycare.
There's definitely a lot of things that need to be fixed here, and daycare is. I don't want to get too political, but daycare is definitely
fuck them. Let them go.
It's a problem for sure. And then when you guys do get into it, you'll see it's just like, well, then right away, as soon as if Lana wants to go back to work, it's like, well,
I would like to be the 50s where she stays at home.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Culturally, it's not a misogynistic thing. To me, it is cultural. It's like you take care of the household. Obviously, not all the blue jobs, but it's like you know what I mean. Like you know what I mean. Like so, then I can go to work, provide, right, and then you can do whatever you want. It was like when I was younger, it's like you had like a parent that worked at General Motors or worked at the township. And it's like you still had a cottage, you still had a house, everyone had a car, all that. I'm like, how did you do that on $30 an hour in the 80s? And now you're like, should we really get the Prime subscription this month? That's a little expensive.
I know. I canceled mine last month.
Oh fuck!
Done.
Steal someone else and get a Fire Stick. It's just. I don't know why it's like so complicated politically with everything to know like what are people's basic needs. Like honestly, people don't give a shit about a whole lot of things. It's like just stop making our life harder than it is.
100%. Like we just whatever's going on, whoever's got to do what they got to do. But can you not just like come around more and see the general? Like, do you not see what's going on? Like for me and like all my friends, everybody, I'm sure that you talk to and I talk to, like. I'll be pumping gas at the local gas station, and this has happened several times, and someone just gets out, and they could be driving a Toyota Prius, or they could be driving a pickup truck, and they get out, and generally the conversation is almost the exact same, and I let them start it, and it's just like, we're not this is crazy, and we're not going to see a change here. I don't think this is going to get worse before it gets better. And I'm like, yep. Well, as soon as the next tax hike comes in, it's going to get worse. And like, what do we do? You're right. I wish they would maybe come around and see what actually needs to be fixed, and maybe they are, maybe they're trying to, but I don't know.
Doesn't seem to be looking at it. We're talking about hiking more taxes and
They want to implement another alcohol sales tax. Like
it's already full tax. It's $63 for a 60.
They want to put more tax on it.
Oh, okay.
I read that. They want to put more tax.
Our essential needs, weed and alcohol during a pandemic, essential things.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's $18 for a 60 Canadian club in Florida, or $20, whatever their inflation rate is now. And ours is $63.
Yeah.
It's like, clearly we make enough money to support doing that, but then it's just like, oh, your heating bill. You're like, yeah, we're going to jack that up a little bit more on you. You're like, are you fucked?
Yeah.
But it's all, you know what it is? It's all coming from people, and I don't care. I'll defend this to the bitter end. People coming from trust funds, people coming from money that are in our politics that dictate all these things, because they have never ever lived like we have lived before. Our current person who is in charge of this country, literally has just walked through life on his last name.
Yeah.
And I don't care what. He's like, well, I've had jobs. Yeah, but if you're like, oh, you're so-and-so's son? Huh, we would love to have you work here because then we look like a big deal. School, doesn't matter what it is. You don't know anything about how we live whatsoever.
No.
Not even a little bit. You don't even know how much gas goes in one of your caravans.
I agree with you 100%. There's such a disconnect between that level of, say politician or someone in that level. They've never... I would say you and I probably live a bit of a blue collar life, right? And they've never.
Mine's extremely blue collar. I've literally been negative $100,000 before. I've been broke as hell, living on an air mattress with a dog. Oh yeah, don't fucking talk to me about fucking money.
No. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're negative too if you consider the mortgage, right? So it's just like that. We're doing great. Well, it's just like when you look at the bank and it's like we still owe the bank for your home, so. And that some people will be like, mortgage debt's good debt, and to a certain degree it is, I guess. Right? I'm not an expert on it at all, but
I'm an expert on paying for it. That's for fucking sure.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah.
It's not enjoyable, and it really impacts everything around you, but it's like you want people to prosper, just knock a little bit off. Take a little bit off your cut. It's like a mob. It's like, you know what, you're rolling at 45 to 50%, which everyone's like, that's a lot. You're like, add it up. It's pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
It's really close. And it's like, just knock a little bit off the top there and see how much everyone progresses.
Tax on the paycheck, tax on the gas, tax on the food, tax on the tires you use on your vehicle.
Tax when you're dead.
It's just tax and tax and tax and tax.
Oh, you ever gone through the, what do you call it? When you die. Fuck. It's going to bother me.
You got death taxes when you die.
No, not that, but like if once you die, and then you're like allocate, if you don't have your money set up when you're dead, like when you're dying, and I know it goes barbaric really quick, but if you don't have stuff set up properly, it goes into probate.
Yeah.
And the government gets to cut off, like that takes money off too. If you haven't set, and I've learned this going through like family members recently in the last few years, my sister and I have been dealing with that stuff a lot. If you don't have your parents, whoever, aunts, uncles, grandparents, if you don't have that shit set up, the government takes a cut of that.
Oh, yeah.
And they hold it for a year.
Oh, yeah.
For a full year. So if you don't, like, set up your life, or your parents or your grandparents don't set up your life, and if they really don't like the government, that's your angle to them. It's like, then you are going to give them more money. Yeah. Even if you don't like your family, give it to, like, a charity. Give it to whoever, whatever it is. If you don't set your life up accordingly, the government takes it.
Yep.
And a chunk of it, too.
Well, look at the capital gain taxes on homes and stuff now, right? And
we don't want you having multiple properties because you're doing too well. What?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, rent, like Jeff was on here last week and was talking about, he's like, how can you pay $3,000 a month for rent, but you can't get a mortgage? And it's like, well, you need the down payment money to, like, there's a mortgage person I will gladly have on here to explain this, or a bank person. Yeah, I know somebody.
That's awesome.
That we'll talk about how that works, and it's like they're just calculating their risk that you're actually going to pay it back, because they don't want your house.
No,
they just want money.
Heck no, they don't want the house.
No.
Once you see homes starting to foreclose and the bank's taking over, they're like, that's trouble for sure, because now they're just selling them to get rid of get their money back that
Yeah.
they need on it. And
They're a
that's it.
business. They're a business. To think that they're there in any shape or form for your best interest
Never, man.
is just. It was like talking to Lana where she thinks everyone's good. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, they're not. I'm like, it's a business. You're a mark. You're like, you're going to keep all your stuff here and borrow. The more they can convince you to borrow, the more money they make on you.
100%.
It's a great business model. Good for you. It's just doesn't have the negative aspect of loan sharking next to it.
No, it's just like, oh, I got 50 grand in the bank. Well, no, actually, you have nothing in there. That doesn't even exist. That is just fairy dust.
Yeah.
That money that you think you have in there is they're using that to invest in other things. They've already lent your 50 grand that you have on your phone screen that you can see. They've already lent that out to somebody else and making interest off them. And then when you go to, that's why, like, if everyone went to the bank right now and tried to draw money out, like a large amount of money, you could cripple the system. I'm dead certain of it because there actually isn't.
Have you ever tried to take large sums of money out of the bank?
Yes. No. So when I went to buy a wood chipper one time, this is a good story. I'll keep it quick. When I went to buy a wood chipper one time and pull a significant amount of money out of my bank account, I was treated like a criminal.
They're like, whoa.
Literally treated like a criminal.
Yeah.
And then all it took was a manager had to come out and then a series of questions, and they literally put me through the ringer like I was robbing them. And I'm like, this is my money. Like, what is going on here? I'm like, if there's an issue with me pulling this out right now, then I'm done. I'm taking everything out of here. And I will go take my mortgage and go elsewhere too.
Yeah.
Because this isn't right.
But they all run the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can only do what you can do when you're in that situation. Talk heavy. But I was like, I want my money. If I want it now, well, what do you... And it literally came down to, well, what would you need that amount of money for today? And I was like, what does that even matter?
Throw it off a bridge.
I'm like, what does that even matter? Like, they're almost insinuating that someone's got me at gunpoint from outside to go get this money, or
No, you got them at gunpoint because they don't have it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, exactly. So eventually, I was just like, I'm going to buy a piece of equipment to work.
Yeah.
So I can go to work and make money. Like, what is it to you? And then eventually they did. They did. They tried to, it's going to be hours. Oh, this takes 2 weeks to process. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. You take my paycheck pretty quick.
Like, we're not talking about 100 grand here. We're not even talking about 50 grand. So I'm like, you got this.
Yeah,
you can do
it was under 10.
No, it was over 10.
It was over 10?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's under the threshold. I've heard this a few times from people paying for like renovations or buying something for their house or whatever it is. I haven't got there yet, and I've been waiting for that in certain sums that I've taken out before. And it was like, they look at you like, oh, okay. And then it's funny, I get other ones from tellers, like, they're looking at me like, you know how many debt, like, you're like, you're not like a surplus in my account by any means, but they're just like, oh, you're just not like a typical person. Like, no, I don't run off credit cards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't have, like, I have cash that I use for things. Like I said, I try to cover the spread as much as possible.
Oh, 100%.
And
only spend the money if you got it.
To a degree. Yeah. Like, if I know I can front it and if I can cover it in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And I give myself time because, like I said, I've been on the other end of the spectrum where it's like you're just completely fucked.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm never going back to that. No one will ever manage my money ever again. No. I don't give a fuck.
I think a lot of people have been there and maybe still are there, and it's just like, I'm definitely no financial expert. I mean, I love to spend money and the toys.
I can spend it faster and make it.
Oh, anybody can. Like, I'm certain of that, but it's, I don't know. Spend what you got, and
it is what they're trying to do.
Like, I was at Peterborough Power Sports today, and I was like, oh my, I need that. No, I don't need that, but it's like, ooh. Or along in McQuaid, that's brutal too. You go in, and it's just,
They're trying to prevent the Black Tuesday, like the Depression, because that's what everyone did there when the 29. I'm going to butcher this. October 29th, 1929 or something.
Yeah, crash of 29 or whatever they say. I don't know.
Yeah, it's around that time where the market was dipping.
Yep.
Everyone pulled their money, and then that caused a huge financial collapse. And I know the Canadian financial system is a little bit more. So they've got it on lock that way, as you can tell, where if you don't do what they say, they can block your shit. But it is definitely, I guess, a little bit more secure that way. I mean, again, I'm not a financial expert by any means, shape, or form. I just know you're right. I've heard ample people say that. They look at you like someone's robbing you if you want to take your own money out. You're like, okay. Yeah. And then they're dicks about it. They're like, some tellers almost get like, or like people in there almost get like assholes about it. They're like, well, I don't have that money to take out. I'm like, well, that's great. You're shit with money and you work at a fucking bank. I don't know what to tell you. Like, give me my stuff. Like, And they just ruin it, and everyone's like, well, keep it under the mattress, and then you get people going, oh, then you fight it, and then you don't get, and you get into the whole inflation thing, and then it's worth less money. It's like, well, it doesn't matter what you do.
No.
The government prints or makes more money, it's worth less anyway, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But again, don't take my financial
No,
advice.
I'm not want to take financial advice from, that's for sure.
No.
We just seem to carry on, and
I'm investing in me with everything, the same thing that you're doing, where it's like, you know what, you're playing music, you're doing something you enjoy, you've got activities and abilities around you to have an enjoyable life for your wife and child, and I want to do the same thing too. And if you know, at the end of the day, I mean, that's all people want to do. That's what I said earlier in the conversation. Like, people just fuck it up by making it complicated, by adding extra to it. It's like, I'll spend that money, don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
I'll fucking spend it. You'll get that money one way or the other.
Yeah.
I just don't need you to fast track it.
no.
So, what do you do?
Yeah. Keep on keeping on.
That's right. So what does the future hold for you now in the rest of this year? What you got? You said you got a lot of dates booked up. Sorry, I got ice in my teeth.
No, that's all right.
You got a lot of dates booked up. I know we were talking politics stuff there, but
Yeah, we went on
keep
politics.
keep it. I mean, we can rant for days. I'm sure I'll have somebody on here that's pretty conspiratorial. That would be nice.
We have some pretty peculiar phone calls, you and I.
As I said to Jeff, I talk to people on the phone all the time for hours because I drive for a living.
Yeah.
So it's easy to talk to people for hours at a time.
Yeah, stuff that I don't really want to air on the platform. So
Well, sometimes, I mean, you can just say fuck it, but I mean, yeah, I know what you mean, right? You don't want somebody looking at it and judging and be like, oh, this guy's this way, or they think that way. I think we're just normal guys. I mean, we don't break the law anyway. We don't. I'm not judging people who do, but I don't know. Go to work every day, look after families, and find hobbies and passions that we want to accelerate.
Yeah, no, I'm a straight shooter, dirty hands, clean money kind of thing, right?
Yep.
And work for what I got and work hard and. Yeah. What do I see in the future for this year for music? Yeah, we got lots of cool shows. I say lots, and you know,
Are any of them open yet to talk about?
Well, we booked back at the Buckle in Kingston.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that was a neat spot.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was Nashville North vibe for sure. Like the whole vibe in there, I was like, yeah, this just feels like Nashville. So that'll be cool. We'll talk about that one, and then there's some more coming up that I can't talk about yet. But when they come out, it'll be cool. And you know, I say, oh, we got shows coming up. Yeah, I do it all the time, and I know lots of people do. I start comparing myself to others that are playing and doing stuff, and you're like, oh,
it's hard. Yeah, I do the exact same thing.
Oh,
that person made a better video. That person does that, and you're like, that person sings better. That person, no, people like you. Like it's an experience, right? That's what people want to follow you because
like, oh, look at so and so's latest post. Look at where they're playing all year, and I'm looking at like different artists, and they got like 4 rows of concerts, and they're just full bore, and I'm like, oh man, like, yeah, our schedule is good for us, 100%, super stoked and grateful to have the shows coming in that we do, and love it, because at the end of the day, it is busy enough with what we got going on, plus our, you know, we work full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately,
yeah,
bummer.
I know. But no, it's exciting.
We're working 2 jobs technically.
Yeah.
Like this is our weekend right now. We've been here since noon, just after noon, doing this, and it's gonna be 6. It's 6 o'clock now.
Oh my.
So it's been 6 hours of doing either music or interview or whatever, right?
Yep.
It flew by. I thought it was still 2.
Yeah, 1:30. No. Yeah, it's gonna be a good year. And, you know, hopefully we get some momentum this year and we just keep going, keep steamrolling.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I mean, a big push was, I noticed at the Buckle, for instance, is like people are like, who are you? What are you doing? And then I said, I'm just here to take videos and photos and help with social media content, stuff like that. Because as I've kind of noticed or seen, and you've done the same thing, that's what matters. That's your advertising. Nobody goes to the radio anymore.
Literally.
Nobody's on TV anymore.
Literally. I've said it so many times.
So terrible.
And before you started coming around and doing a lot of all the stuff you do, and I'm so grateful for it, but it was like you would go play a show and there were some awesome moments and actually awesome crowds and stuff was cool. And it was just like...
Nobody saw it.
It was like... Well, the people who were there saw it, but no one else gets to see it. And it's like, how do I can't play guitar and sing or drum and sing and take video too, like of us doing it. So it was a hurdle to get over. And, you know, I'm forever grateful that we get you to come out and do what you do, because it's, you know, I've said it to you. It's just like, man, you can have 50 people in that room or 5 people in that room, but as soon as you get that captured and you get it on social media and put it out there, next thing you know, you got 1,000 followers, we got 1,000 or somewhere around there. I got a little less on Instagram, but you know, it's like all of a sudden people start to see it more that weren't even there, and it's just like, oh yeah, I know they're doing that. Well, I never saw it, but I saw it online, and it, you know, you get to a way bigger audience. So that was a big thing, getting even just pictures, you know, and videos are huge too. Because I was always like, someone would send me a Snapchat that was in the crowd, and I'd be like, oh, can you send that to me? Can you save that and send that to me? And it would come in on a different platform, and you're trying to make something of it. And I was like, this isn't working. This isn't working at all.
It's too clunky. It's too hard. I mean, you get a little bit of that authenticity because you're kind of doing it yourself, but you can tell. Like I've seen, it's not really talking shit, but it's like some people's vision for what they are for promotion. It's like, that's the angle you took on that? It's like, you've probably got a background in photography and education and stuff. And it's like, okay. I mean, like, not being a prick about it with certain people or like certain things I've seen online, not anyone specific, just like stuff I've scrolled through and saw. And they've done it for years. And I'm like, you don't want to change it up a little bit? Like Mike and I are constantly changing.
Yeah.
Everything. We're like, well, we're just going to do drone stuff. I was like, no, we're not, because that's going to foxhole you. And I'm like, I'm bad for that. I'll say I'm not going to do something. Then all of a sudden, well, I'm buying cameras and I'm fucking running this and I'm doing it. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just fucking in deep with stuff. So it's nice just to change, just to kind of change percent. You got to change with culture, right? If you stay stagnant and you stay in the same thing, it's like survival situations.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
Oh yeah.
You got to progress with what's going on a little bit. I mean,
yeah, literally, like if you look at a business, any kind of line of business now, if they don't have, you know, a social media page, they're losing so much potential business right off the hop. It's like, man, you really got to try.
Yep.
And honestly, it's like, oh, yeah, do you like social media? Not a whole lot. Like,
no. What else do you do when you're taking a shit? Everyone's sitting there and you're like, Marketplace, you're like, I don't need that.
Okay,
like,
yeah, I'll take that back. Marketplace?
Yeah.
All the time.
Everyone loves Marketplace.
Sometimes, like, why are you on your phone? I'm not looking at more parts or guitars.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, Kijiji's dead.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's
me.
gone.
Trying to, it's just people being dicks. I don't know. It's like everyone's got You know what's funny is, like, I've noticed that everyone's got a big mouth online. I have never condoned, and I'm not trying to call for this type of behavior by any means. I'm just saying, like, everyone's like behind like a digital wall, and they're just like, yeah, I can get that for $1,000. Okay, great. Don't fucking message me then, idiot. Like,
keyboard warrior.
Yeah, and it's
I
like,
hate it.
I will never, like, I'm like a really nice person in public. I'm not trying, like I said earlier, I'm not trying to measure dicks with anybody. I don't care at all what someone else is good at, or who's got a faster four-wheeler, or bigger this, or bigger that. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
And honestly, most people don't care.
No.
Like, a lot of the public are like, everyone's like, oh, I wonder if so-and-so thinks, you know, I don't know what they'll think if I don't have this, or I need this truck to be this social status. Like, no. At the end of the day, nobody really actually truly cares. And so far as, like, nobody really cares to a certain degree what's going on in your life, because everyone's lives have their own stuff going on. Everyone's dealing with the same stuff, just on their own level or on their own home behind their own closed doors. And it's just like, so people are like, oh, I wonder if so-and-so thinks this. Like, I don't care.
People care for about that 20-minute shit break. That's about it. They're just like, oh my God, I can't believe that's happened in Parliament today. And you're like, oh, anyways, what's for dinner? Do you want to take the dogs for a walk?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's kind of caught us in the behavior we're in now. But either way, yeah, it's just fascinating stuff now.
Yeah. Quite wild.
What would you say has been your biggest hurdle in music? Like, what's your biggest struggle?
Writing. I need to work on writing. I do write. As far as going like with original stuff, that would be a hurdle there, and that's no surprise. I think a lot of people are the same way though. They're all looking like that's the whole business. Everyone's looking for that next big song, and you know, for me, it's just getting stuff put together, and it's happening slowly but surely. You know, some stuff here and there, as you know, and so that aspect, and then you know, the time that you have. So people that have gone full bore into the music industry and don't have a full-time career in something else literally will, I would imagine, put a lot of time and effort that they, you know, throughout the day. I mean, if you got 24 hours in a day and you're not going to a day job for 10 of it or 12 of it, then you got a lot of extra time there to actually sit down and work on instruments and different parts. And that can be a hurdle too, right? It's just like, well, no, I didn't, you know, I practiced for 45 minutes to an hour today after work. And then I practiced my drums for a half hour. And then by the time you do that, it's like, well, that's 2.5 hours after work. And then I got to eat dinner. You know what I mean? Well, then when you go to the gym, you go to the gym, well, then I get up early and go to the gym in the morning. And for people to know the routine, it's like, wake up 5 o'clock on a weekday, to the gym by 5:30, out of the gym by 6:30, to the office. And then it's just like work. Come home, okay, tonight we're going to write a song, or tonight I'm going to work on this, or I had this idea, I'm going to write that down, and you're kind of like sectioning all the time. And next thing you know, you look at the clock, it's like, damn, it's 9:30. Like, I need to go to bed. Or I'm going to be tired as shit for work tomorrow. So that's a big hurdle too with, you know.
Do you feel like you don't have something to say?
What do you mean?
Well, generally people write because that's something like Zach Bryan, for instance. Like he just like some people are just natural writers, so they got something to say.
Oh, totally.
It's like you can play guitar, but then people are like poets or they're writers, and they can write something out. Do you think that, like why it's a struggle for you is because you don't have something to say, that you can't relate to people?
No, I think it's just getting past my own. Well, I think it's just getting past my own head, or getting past.
It's an insecurity thing?
Nah, maybe not insecurity as much as just finding a way to get it out in the lyrics the way it's going on in my head or in my life. And, you know, I've talked to quite a few people that are quite good in the industry and that are, got some songs out there and are doing well. And they're like, dude, just keep pencil and paper, and just write. And they're like, the majority of your stuff is going to be junk. Just keep writing. And, and then eventually, once you get past all that stuff that's no good, something decent comes along, right? And, you'll see that. It's just a matter of probability. You get, if you have 100 songs, one of them's going to be decent, hopefully.
Look how many songs Johnny Cash wrote.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Not everyone was a banger.
No.
But there's still a lot of the night people are going, like, finding that, like, I didn't know that was that good. Like,
oh, yeah, no, it's so, yeah, for sure. That's something I need to work on, but yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's like a few things we've joshed around about. Like, I enjoy doing stuff like that a little bit. Like I just think sometimes when people talk, it's just you're kind of writing your own song, on your own. But then what do you? It's one thing to think of like a hook or the title of it.
Yeah.
But fill out the rest of the blank.
Oh, totally.
Right.
Like even last night, I woke up at 3 o'clock. It seems to be like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what goes on in my brain at that point, but.
It sounds most creative.
Yeah. I just like...
Comedians write super late at night. I've heard of some. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to start doing some like illicit drugs or something and stay up that late.
I'll help you.
No, but I just like...
good weed, man. We should do that.
3 o'clock sprung up last night. It's funny that we're talking about it. Last night, literally. And I was like, doing the blind look around for the phone. It's like... And then you punch in that idea that's in your head. And I swear, put my phone down, whatever, wake up this morning, we go to the hairdressers, we barber, and we do our thing. And I'm like driving back, we're talking in the car, sipping Timmy's, and it crossed my mind. I'm like, what was that idea this morning? Literally. And it's like, I got it because I wrote it down on my phone. And if I didn't, it'd be gone.
Yeah.
Fairy dust, gone. Like,
yeah, I've heard of that before. It's not uncommon.
No.
People write stuff down after in mid-sleep because your dream state, you're in a psychosis.
I'll just be driving somewhere, and then you get an idea, and it's like, oh, pull over.
Yep.
Write that down quick.
Mine's gym. Mine's always the gym.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I have endorphins. I'm feeling good, but there's got to be like a build up to that of like, I had a good breakfast, right? I got up early. I slept good, had a good breakfast, go to the gym, work out, got great vibes going with music.
Yeah.
I hear something and I'm like, I got to do this right now. And it just pops in my head. I'm like, oh, I've done that to you a few times. Like, we got to do video like this. And then it's like, and it's funny, you explain it. Somebody like Lana's a prime example. Explains to her. She's like, yeah, it's great. This whole garage was that prime example. Yeah. And I just started building. She's like, oh, that's what you meant. Yeah. And it's like, well, yeah, you got to show them.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't get it. They don't see what's inside your head.
No, everyone sees everything differently too, right? Like you and I, we'd look at something and we'd come up with 9 different ways that we look at it. It's just,
I see value in things that people that generally don't have a value in. That's what my goal is, and I guess that's growing up poor.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So you're just like, well, that bike that's fucked. It's like, well, you can just fix it here and do that, and then bam, you got a brand new bike.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
That's how I think this whole house, this whole everything has come to play with anything I have. It's like just seeing value in something that generally you wouldn't really see a value in.
Yep. No, for sure.
And then you make it cool, and then everyone's like, fuck, I want that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like it. Yeah, no, this is an awesome spot.
I would like to have this as a studio, like I said earlier, for anybody who wants to come and get their name out there.
So is that what you're, not to interview the interviewer?
No, that's fine. This is
podcast.
This is an open dialogue. It's not one way.
But
It's
the,
like, if you want to bring up something about something, that's cool.
What's your plan then going forward? So what's the podcast called then? I don't know. I follow. I'm subscribed on YouTube.
It's Lee's Garage. I got to get better at that. I mean, like I said, with the one man show, I'm learning the YouTube
Well,
thing.
it's fresh, so I get that. So it's Lee's Garage.
Lee's Garage. I mean, it's simple, it's short, it's sweet.
I like it.
It's I didn't want to have anything. Well, let's have a drink because maybe I'll have people on here that don't drink.
Yep.
Right. And it's like, and I don't want anyone to look at it and be like, I'm not in here to watch two bros talk about drinking and something derogatory about females or something like that. And it's like, don't get me wrong, like. This is guys having conversations, so it's like stuff happening, or females too.
Yep.
I have nothing against anybody who wants to come in here, gender, ideology, race, whatever the fuck it is. I don't care. I just want to learn something from somebody.
Oh, 100%.
Like you've got a lot to teach me about music industry, arboring, derbies, car, like life, children, stuff like that.
Yep.
And people's political opinions too. I've got no issue with that, but.
So you're not just going to do, like today, like we did, you come in and you do a couple songs and maybe an original and record it with what you have going on for recording stuff, and then you do the podcast after. You might not necessarily do that, although you would like to probably with other artists, but you might also do, like you mentioned earlier, I'm going to bring someone in that I know that works at a bank, and you're going to talk to all these different people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care what's ever interesting. I'm riding the ADHD high, and it's not self-diagnosed. It's actually a doctor thing, and it's terrible when you're older because you're just taught that you just are really fixated on things and you excel, and if you're not, terrible. Just fucking, you're just like, no, I really got to do that thing, and you're like, nah, I'm not doing that, and you're like, well, you have to, and like people that don't get it, right? Because you always hear that the self-diagnosed ADD or whatever the fuck it is. Mine is through a doctor, doctors, and it's very expensive and lengthy nonsense. But either way, I'm just riding the high of stuff that interests me. So it's like if someone, I'll sit there and talk to. I've talked to, and this is at parties or gatherings or whatever the fuck it is. I've talked to correctional officers. I've talked to parole officers. I've used the same category, whatever. Finance people, truck drivers, farmers, doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Somebody's got some sort of story. Somebody's got something that they know a lot about. And you can have an interesting conversation with almost anybody unless they're just completely fucking out to lunch.
Yeah.
But I mean, even that you'll find.
Even that
there's something funny there. I don't know. It's just making some content that people want to watch. I watch a shit ton of TV. Why not make your own?
Yeah. No, 100%.
And again, it goes hand in hand with helping people. If I can help your guys, the Steve Waters band.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out. I mean, putting your handles in there too. Oh, yeah. If that can help you guys in any way, boost, and anyone else that we've kind of met through shows and stuff too. I mean, bar owners, that would be cool. What's it like running a bar?
Yeah. Oh, no, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
it's all networking, man. Like in everything that we do, whether it's it's my day job or it's my weekend job or whatever you want to call it, music, and it's just like, yeah, it's all networking.
I'm not backed by anybody. I'm not pushed by anybody.
Nope.
I'm like anybody else. I mean, I'm
sponsored by our own wallet.
Yes, my own wallet at myownwallet.com and subcontractor to my wife. But yeah, no.
Sell me this pen. We could be backed by Scott's paper towel. You never know.
Scott's. I don't know. I turned around all the liquor bottles. Just
I noticed that.
It's like, well, yeah, obviously you can make out what they are, but it's like I didn't know with the whole censorship stuff if it was like if that deranked you. I don't know that whole system.
Well, you would never know if a certain liquor company saw it and come after you and like, hey, like
we don't want you.
We don't want that in your podcast.
Yeah. Or opposite, where they're like, can you flip that around? And it's like, sure. How much? Not a problem. I will gladly tell. Like that's what everyone does because
Put 10
YouTube
more
doesn't
percent
pay,
on that, and I'll even start drinking that.
yeah, like YouTube doesn't pay you shit for stuff. Everyone
No,
says that. Everyone puts their own little ads inside of it too.
I think they get paid to a certain degree, but it's not enough.
Yeah, it's per views, it's per time. There's like a whole bunch of stuff.
Obviously, they're capitalizing. Like they're the ones.
It's a business. If anything's free, you're the product.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like I'm creating content on my own time for YouTube to make money off their ads.
Yeah.
Great. That's fine. You're providing something free.
Same with Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff.
Yep.
It's a free platform, but
Yep.
no.
100%. If it's free, you're the product.
Yeah.
Everyone's watched The Social Network. If you haven't watched that on Netflix, it's very eye-opening. The whole podcast genre for 2024 is just projected to be big. Like it went big over COVID, but I think everyone was just starting it because they were bored.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't have maybe a good model or something to really say, or maybe don't market themselves well. I've seen a lot of like, I think, were we talking about this yesterday? Where it was like people have, they put like a channel or a page up somewhere, and then their attention span just dipped after like so many weeks or months or whatever it was. And then they've just taken a great name, unfortunately, and they fucking canned it. Yeah. And you're like, God damn it. You're like, you got 2 videos that were good, or whatever you're doing was semi-decent, and then something happened. Either, you moved, or, mom got sick, or something happened. And you're like, fuck. And you're like, you just don't have time for it anymore. Yeah. I'm like, this is all passive. I do this after work. I do it on weekends in my own time around what we're doing. Yeah. Other than the actual hardware cost of it, and the overhead of running a house. But I've always thought like every great company started from a garage. Yeah. If it was Microsoft, Apple, all that shit is all started from a garage. Man, I'm like, why not do that? Because this could be fake one day, where it's like a studio. I would like to keep it as
rebuild this and make it in a studio.
Yeah. I like honestly, it could be authentic as possible and always keep it here, but. Like, who knows?
Well, like Johnny or I think my mom said, like when you took a couple photos today, maybe we can...
She asked me. That made me so happy.
We're going to put it right here in the video. So, one picture, she's just like, that looks fake. And you're like, what? You're like, no, it looks like a backdrop. Like, yeah. And you look at the photo, I'm like, the camera quality is so good, and the props and the wall and everything.
Staging.
Yeah. You would literally be like, it's a backdrop. It looks like it's a printed backdrop. It's like, no, that's 100% real.
That's there all the time.
Yeah,
the walls and stuff, obviously, like the little knickknacks and stuff like that. I just thought I'd give a little bit more. I felt that was closer to you as possible, if that makes sense. It's like a little bit. So it's like if someone else comes in, I might change it, right? Like you got I
love it.
Russell Brand had a wood pile in the back of his videos for a while, and everyone got bothered when it wasn't there. Yeah. They would comment and they would where's the wood pile? Yeah. Or the More Plates, More Dates guy has a window shaker in the back of a wood panel room. And I was like, where the fuck's the window shaker? He's like, I had to leave it in because everyone kept fucking commenting. Where the fuck's the So I literally tried, like, this whole garage is what you see here. This was before I put a camera on it. Yeah. It was already here.
Oh yeah, I know it was. I can contest to that.
I just made, and it's not like everyone's like, oh, it's the man cave. My wife doesn't give a shit about anything at all. She's just like, he does the decorating. I don't have the whole house is me, and it looks like a basic white bitch house. And everyone's like, oh, you did a great job. She's like, I didn't do any of this. This was all him. Yeah. And say, oh, fucking dogs. I guess they want out, but.
Is that the dogs or Lana?
No, it's the dogs. Good one. Didn't catch that one. Slow. No. But everything is the way it is because I envisioned in my head. I wanted to have a cabin country feel with a little bit of a Nashville vibe with the tin roof. I thought of that, like the tin roof feel of like an old cabin type hangout.
Oh, it's totally got it.
And I generally have my toys in here, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's super cool. I wish I had that." It took a long time to get there. Like, I don't come from money. I don't come from shit.
No. So I remember, like, when I first met you, when you hit the wall in the photo,
trying to do a burn on my 30th birthday, drove it right into the wall. Insert clip here.
Put that clip here.
Wham.
Just a 2 second. Do a burnout.
Oh, fuck.
Put in 2-wheel drive.
Oh, that was good. That was a crazy 30th birthday. Planned that all myself. I ended up having a house full of people. Every window was full of empties. Everyone just thought it'd be funny just to jam all the inside of the windows.
Remember, I think that was the party
goats.
that Strack came in
Yeah, he
with
brought the goats.
Yeah.
Brought the goats.
Goats in the house.
They're eating shit off the table. He's feeding them whiskey and stuff, and people are like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "They're not mine." I'm like, I'm not pro this type of shit." But and then once they started pissing in the front room, people were like, "Okay, they gotta go. Now. This is getting a lot." And I'm like, I'm wandering around with a Swiffer just cleaning stuff up. I'm like, I don't care. This is kind of fun. Yeah. It was a good banger for a 30th, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy where the time goes.
Oh, I can tell you where it goes. I spent a lot of it behind a bottle during COVID, that's for sure.
Oh,
what else can you do?
COVID. Actually, during COVID, I did the quarantunes thing that I copied off a buddy that was doing it, and you just kind of pick a cover song and you play. And I was actually, Leah was going to work. Yeah. I was laid off. So I'm like, great artist. That was like the closest I got to live as an actual artist. Like, I was like, huh.
Babe, it's going to kick off this year. I know. I'm going to be good.
And that was for me, I was like, holy, because I don't even think we had the dog. We might have had Millie then. I think we had Millie, but definitely no kid. So I was just, and to even think back now, I'm like, holy, all that spare time. And for sure, it was just like, oh, what cover song am I going to do today? And I would like practice it for a bit, and then I'd play it, record it, post it. And I'd be like, this is sweet. And then I was playing all the time and singing, and I was like, I really enjoyed it, for sure.
Sorry, I'm going to let this little bastard.
Oh, that's all right.
You stop it, Tigger.
Oh, hello. Oh, hello.
Oh, they're cute as hell. I hate them so much. Oh, boy. You guys got to go pee? Okay. Yeah. Well, we've been going for now an hour and...
We're pretty much out of memory space.
Hour and 4. Yeah, between memory space and duration of time for patience for dogs. You little bastard. Hounds like food, apparently. No. Leave it. Let's move it further away from them. Yeah, all good. At home podcast, ladies and gentlemen. At home. What can you tell you?
Yeah. We're not going to tell you where it is, but it's at home.
Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate your time and you putting on a show, and hopefully that helps you guys in some way I can put together for you.
Dude, it was amazing. I appreciate it, and I look forward to doing it again, hopefully. And
yeah, I'll have you back anytime you want to come. Reoccurring.
Well, I'd love to even just come and sit with like different guests and stuff too, and chat. And
it's fun.
You know, I like to bring in like some of the other guys from the band. Maybe not all at once if they're not able to, but I definitely like to bring in. Like I know, you know, Daryl would come in here, and you guys would have a ball. Like so much to talk about.
I'll take recommendations.
So smart.
I'll get bigger SD cards. Yeah. I'll take any recommendations for sure that people want to do. Where can people find you?
Yeah, social media.
What do you got for social media?
You might not find me in Cavan often. You might find me in Chatham or Cavan. You know? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're gonna start posting more stuff on YouTube. So
what's your handles?
Oh no!
At Steve Waters Band. At Steve Waters Band for everything.
Yeah, it should be Steve Waters Band for everything. # Steve Waters Band. You'll find us on Facebook, the Steve Waters Band. TikTok, I think, is Stevie Waters Band, something along.
I'll try to put the links below.
Yeah, we'll put the links all in here somewhere.
Links below wherever you go.
So yeah, little plug there. Definitely check us out. We've got a lot of cool things happening in the near future. And
where do they find your dates for shows?
On the socials. For sure.
Socials,
yeah,
everything's there.
I'm constantly updating that. So Facebook is one of the big ones for the band page for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Lee.
Cheers.
Awesome.